Hello my friends, it's Caddy. I'm sharing my 79th process video and number 7 of 15 layouts that I'm creating with this kit that I made from my stash for my Work It Wednesday challenge. This is my layout, which in the end turns out to be pretty simple. This is what I'm beginning with, this wood piece from American Crafts. Now, if you guys watched the video where I showed you guys the stuff that I got, I think I mentioned that when I ordered this piece, because I ordered it online, I thought that the interiors of the flowers were cut out, you know, like they had been lasered cut out. So I thought I was going to get this big piece, but it was going to have all those pieces, you know, cut out from the middle. So I thought maybe backing it with pattern paper, or I don't know, I had some ideas for that. But when I got it, it's just this big piece of wood and it's beautiful. It is, I love it, but it's been very difficult to use, and it's been sitting in my stash for quite a while. That's why I added it to this kit for my Work It Wednesday challenge, and I said I'm gonna use this this piece somehow, you know, one way or another. So I am, and today was that day, and I said I'm gonna use this piece. I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with it, and I'm gonna use it because it's kind of been sitting at the bottom of my little iris container where I keep all the stuff for the kit, and I've been kind of ignoring it. So so yeah, today was the day. So you're going to see me fast forward in just a little bit to when I get the color on there, and there you go, I fast forwarded. So as you can see, adding the color on there really makes a huge difference. As much as I love wood, this just made it so much prettier. So I'm using my gelatos. I just began with a yellow gelato to color the centers, and then I'm using a pink one, and then a red one. And then for the leaves, you're going to see that I'm going to use the Tim Holtz Distress Stain in Cracked Pistachio, because I didn't have a gelato in that green. So as far as coloring this wood, I'm sure there are other materials you can use, or other type of paint you can use to color the wood. Now, you could use acrylic paint, which I'm sure would work on this. I haven't tried it, but I'm sure it would. You know, there's a lot of things you can do. Now, I found that the gelato is the best way to go. And simply because the gelato gives you that bright, vibrant, beautiful color, and it's still a bit translucent, so you don't have to paint it in perfectly. You know, you can kind of paint it fairly quickly. Where I think as with a acrylic paint or another type of paint, you might have to be a bit more careful to, you know, stay inside the lines. But with this, you can kind of see. And then I'm doing this kind of messy, so you can see that you could even just kind of paint it messy and leave it like that, and it'll still look pretty. But I painted it in all the way, you know, where it had been kind of cut or marked. So that's what I'm doing now. So I just use a yellow gelato, a pink gelato, and a red gelato. And I love this Heidi Swap mat because I just paint right on there. I spray some water in my gelato, and that's it. And I'm just using a regular cheapo little thin brush. So the process went by fairly quickly. I don't mind doing it because it's kind of relaxing to me to just sit there and paint this. It was relaxing. So it was great, and I had fun, so it was cool. And I think I didn't really time myself, but I think maybe like half an hour it took me, if that. So I think that's what it took me, half an hour. And there's that Distress Stain. That's the Tim Holtz, the Distress Stain in Cracked Pistachio. And again, I just used the Distress Stain because I didn't have the right green in the gelato. And even with this Distress Stain, kind of when I colored it in, sometimes the wood, even with the gelato, but less so, sometimes it kind of seeps in and it kind of smears a bit. But it was okay. It wasn't too bad in the end. So I take that piece and I'm gonna back it on a white piece of cardstock. And you can see back there I was kind of messing around with the colors and seeing how they would react to the wood. So that's where I kind of found that the gelato was going to be really good. I didn't try in like what do you call it, acrylic paint, but I'm sure it would work, but again, it wouldn't be as translucent or as pretty, I think. So scrapbooking this photo of my niece. This is from her first birthday shoot. And it's funny because this picture, actually, I don't have this picture in this size. This is a huge picture that we have for our living room. I don't even know the size of it, but it's a huge picture. And then I just took it outside because it's not framed yet, and I took a picture of it with my iPhone. And then I just, you know, trimmed the photo, and there you go. So So no one will ever know, right? Except me. So I back it on white cardstock first of all. Then I backed it on dark gray cardstock. And then I used from the kit, I used a piece of cork, which has the little triangles, white triangles, and I used that on the back. Now, I'm going to start layering papers, and I'm going to start creating like sort of a background for this. In the end, you're going to see that I'm not going to keep any of it. In the end, but again, I like to leave the stuff in because I feel like it sort of shows you guys my process and what I did, and you guys get a better insight on my thoughts. So I started kind of layering things, and basically in the end I really liked how the background came out, how those flowers came out, and I really wanted just to showcase the picture, of course, and the flowers. So I didn't want anything else to distract, you know, me from the flowers. So I kind of start layering things, and you're going to see that I'm going to create some little embellishment clusters with all these embellishments. Now these are all the embellishments from my kit, from my Work It Wednesday kit. All those little ephemera pieces are from the Craft Market collection. So I'm going to start kind of creating little embellishment clusters. And that's what I'm doing there, and I'm just kind of layering them, and I use my Tim Holtz little tiny attacher to attach them, and just sort of creating fun little embellishment clusters. And now I will actually use these embellishment clusters just on my next layout, which you guys will see very soon. So I will use these in the end, but not on this layout. Again, I could have let it be. Actually, the way it looks from here, looking at it from this angle while I'm recording the voiceover, the way that it is right now, the picture, I could have left it like that, and I think it looks just fine. But again, I didn't want to do that. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of, and then I was backing those little embellishment clusters with some of that thin cardboard that I use. So this layout really, stay tuned, because those little embellishment clusters are going to show up on my next layout. Now, I decided to get this, I have this roll of, I think it's called like organza, and it's fabric and it's gold. And I have it in my December Daily kit that I'm going to use for December Daily, but I thought, let me see if I can make it work. So I cut sort of a little fishtail banner on each edge, and I'm going to place it behind my photo. And again, it didn't look bad, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I don't know, it just didn't make it on there either. And I fuss with it quite a bit, and I go back and forth with it, and just kind of the placement of it. And again, I could have made it work. I know I could have if I really wanted to, but in the end, I just really wanted to just showcase the actual wood, because again, I really like how they came out. I really love how that the color is so vibrant from those gelatos, so I really wanted to showcase that. So here I go, just layering a bunch of embellishments and a bunch of things that are not going to make it onto my layout. So yeah, so I got rid of everything and then I just backed my photo on 2 layers of vellum, just one slightly bigger than the other. Now I go back to this gold piece, and then I think, okay, let me see if maybe I can add some yellow, because there's yellow in the center of those flowers. So I think, let me see if maybe I like some yellow in there. So I take this yellow washi, which has sort of these little sort of like a little floral pattern in gold, and it's a very subtle pattern. It's not too crazy, but it's pretty. So I thought, maybe let me see if I want to add some yellow behind it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make the yellow work, but in the end it doesn't work. In the end, I just want to leave it as simple as I possibly can. And I've actually thought, if I can find like a nice 12 by 12 frame, I might even frame this versus putting it in my scrapbook. But maybe not. Maybe I will put it in my scrapbook. I don't know. But yeah. So what I do is I take my Martha Stewart butterfly punch. It's the monarch butterfly, and I just punch out some butterflies. And then what I do is I punch out I punch out a total of 6 butterflies, and then I layer them up. So I put I layer 2 of them together, and I cut up little pieces of foam tape, and I mount them on top of each other so they can be a little bit dimensional. So that's what I'm doing. And then I'm taking some of the thin cardboard to pop up my photo so that it does stand out a bit from the background. So that's what I'm doing there. Just took some thin cardboard, and then I'm just kind of roughing up the edges of the vellum a little bit, just so that it's not so perfect. And so that's what I did, just roughed up the edges of the vellum. And then, yeah, so just roughing up those edges, and this is going to be it. This is going to be the only layering I do. I did layering of the vellum. So, and I liked the cork paper with the triangles around the photo. I think it kind of made the photo pop a little bit, so I left that because I really like that. And so here I go with the butterflies. All I'm doing is I punched out 6 butterflies, so there's going to be 3 butterflies, and then I staple the 2 of them in the middle with my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, and then I'm going to take those little foam squares, and I'm going to cut them up and place them behind the butterfly, behind the, you know, between the 2 butterflies, so that it kind of stands out and has a little bit of dimension. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm just going to place them in 3 spots around the photo, just to kind of frame the photo. And it's very subtle because vellum is pretty subtle. But I think it just, you know, it's just perfect, at least for me. Again, you can go with this, you know, so many different ways, and there's endless possibilities, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. I just wanted the picture and the background to be kind of my main focus, and I didn't want too much distraction from that. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm very happy with it in the end. I think I could have sat there and tried 5 million other things, but in the end, this is what I was happy with. So yeah. So yeah, there you go. I'm just putting the foam squares between the 2 vellum butterflies. And I'm loving vellum right now. Vellum is great. I really love the soft, subtle touch that it adds to anything you add it to. So yeah, so that's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have stayed through the whole process. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.